I'm here at the start of the Pennine Way in the Peak District, enjoying a walking holiday. But many people flock to this part of the world from all over, not for the walking, but for the geology. Now, it's hard to believe, really, considering the grandeur of the landscape around me. But once upon a time, none of these hills even existed. And this whole area would have been completely underwater as part of the seabed. But millions of years ago, tectonic activity in the area forced the land together, pushing it up, out of the sea and into the sky, creating the landscape that we know and love today. Now, considering this whole area once used to be underwater, can anybody guess which kind of rock is so abundant here? You guessed it, limestone. Limestone is a sedimentary rock formed deep down at the bottom of the ocean over millions and millions and millions of years, where dead sea creatures, other rocks and minerals are all broken down, compacted and compressed by the water on top of it to create, over layer upon layer, what we now know as limestone. Now, one of the properties of limestone, due to the way that it's formed, is it's incredibly porous, which means water can easily get through its structure. And for this area, that can only mean one thing: caves. So approximately 100,000 years ago, glacial ice that had been frozen here for millennia began to melt, and the water from it started to erode the limestone below. At first creating holes which got bigger and bigger, and the pressure above from the glacial ice started to push this water deeper and deeper down into the limestone, creating these cavernous expanses within the rock. So I'm standing in one of the most famous caves of the area, Blue John, which was found about 10,000 years ago. And at the time it was found, the cave was actually being inhabited by a young gremlin named Jeremy. Jeremy was a kind, gentle, but misunderstood creature who, like most gremlins, lived a life of solitude. Being a nocturnal beast, Jeremy would often come down to the town of Castleton in the middle of the night in search of a mate, but in doing so would scare the whole neighbourhood shitless, so most of the town people wanted his head on a stake. Eventually, the townspeople got their way, and they caught Jeremy red-handed stealing a donkey, presumably to keep us company in the cave. After burning Jeremy brutally at the stake, the townspeople went up to clear his cave, and upon clearing it, discovered his diary. And it turns out that Jeremy was actually quite the local hero. All of his life, unbeknown to the local community, Jeremy, whilst looking for love at night, had also been looking out for the local farmers' livestock, protecting the chicken, guinea fowl and ferret, a very popular meat at the time, from the predators of the night, such as foxes, owls and hawks. And bones of those predators were found in Jeremy's cave, which testified to the accounts of his diary. Stricken with guilt for killing such an innocent soul, the town quickly went about building a statue in memory of Jeremy's contribution to the community, and it stands now in the town square as a timely reminder to always love thy neighbour, however weird and gremlin-y they may be. Wow, what a story. Well, all of this talk of caves, limestone and gremlins has got me rather tired, so I'm off to bed. But I do hope you've enjoyed your time in the Peak District with me, and I hope you join me on another walk sometime. But until then, as Robert Plant would say, ramble on.